Welcome to Dominate, where we discuss strength and conditioning and much more. What is the purpose for the board for the bench, and how is it different for the overloading of the eccentric hooks? In regards to using board for the bench and eccentric hooks. So the boards are simply what we use is, I learned this from the West Side, is we use a 5-board, 4-board, 3-board, 2-board. And it's basically training partial range of motion. Partial range of motion training is what we're doing is just basically overloading the system. So normally, if I have an athlete who is in a plateau, or I need to accelerate them to get stronger for whatever specific time period, I will use simple tricks like this to overload the system, the organism, the body. And what I do is use a movement, say like the bench press, and they'll lift a heavy load, normally what they can't do for full range of motion, for partial range of motion. So what the body does is the body gets used to that overload. It's stressing the system, and the body has to make all these requirements to register that new load. So that is why I use the board press. So for example, a 5-board is obviously a shorter range of motion than the 4-board, then the 3-board, and the 2-board. So generally what I like to do, I like to use a 3-week or a 4-week protocol, and the athlete will go as heavy they can with a, say for instance, a 4-board, and try to keep that same load week to week, and try to maintain that same load until they touch their chest, do a full bench with that load. And I use that use this method for different exercises like squats and so on and so forth. But normally I do that only for specific purposes because I'm a big advocate of training to full range of motion. So only special cases, obviously advanced athletes, I use that method for. The difference between the eccentric hooks now, the eccentric hooks is basically you're using extra load from the top of the movement all the way, lowering the movement. I like to use like 5 to 6 seconds in an eccentric, lowering the weight. The load falls off, so anywhere from 20 to 30%. Sometimes I use 40% extra on the hooks. So say for instance, I have 300 pounds on the bench. I may have 40 pounds on the hooks, 40 pounds on each side. So it'd be, the total weight is 380 pounds. So they'll lower the load eccentrically, slow, so the body gets used to that overload, all the way down, touch the chest, the hooks, the extra load falls off, and boom, they explode up, okay? So that's another advanced method, and that's what's different for the partial range of movement board press, the eccentric hooks. So I like to use both of those methods differently.